Good morning. Can you hear me in the back?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So welcome this morning. My name is Erik Fromme. I'm one of the assistant teachers here at KCC, joined by Sopa and Bill and Dora, and it's our privilege this morning to welcome you to KCC. And in particular, a special welcome to those of you who are new or relatively new, and to those of you who are watching on the streaming this morning. Good morning. Today's schedule is the usual Sunday schedule, meaning a bit less than an hour of calm abiding meditation, followed by a break, followed by our question and answer and discussion period that will take us up to about 11 o'clock. And we begin our practice, as we always do, by going for refuge. Of course, we seek refuge all the time in things that we hope will make our lives better. Our friends, our families, our work, all the ways that have been created for us to distract ourselves. Books and movies and shopping and the internet. Looking at our lives, it's possible to see nearly everything we do in the light of going for refuge. Is it working? All those refuges must work a little bit, or we find something else. And perhaps that's why we find ourselves here on Sunday morning, seeking a better refuge, a true refuge. So take a couple of minutes now to reflect for yourself on what true refuge means for you. Right here, right now. In Buddhism, we're encouraged to try taking refuge in the three jewels: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And the Buddha is both the historical teacher, Buddha, but in taking refuge in the Buddha, you are also relying on one thing that you can count on, yourself. Not yourself as in your ego or your personality or your conceptual mind, but who you really are. Which, surprisingly, as you become more familiar, turns out to be trustworthy. And refuge in the Dharma, the teachings that serve as instructions and encouragement on the path and the Sangha. The people and beings along the way who make it possible for you to make a wondrous and seemingly impossible journey worthwhile. And in all the world composed of maybe a good word is lesser refuges, what makes these three jewels trustworthy? Finding out probably does require a bit of a leap of faith. Certainly you can look to teachers like Kala Rinpoche and Bokar Rinpoche and Khenpo Lodro Dunya Rinpoche and Lama Michael and see the result of a lifetime devoted to practice and conclude that refuge in the three jewels must be good. But at a certain point you really have to try it for yourself. You can't just figure out the answer. You need to practice in order to discover it. And now from that place, let's recite our traditional refuge and bodhicitta prayer.
Till the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. until the summit of enlightenment is reached. I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness.
As we begin our practice this morning, let's begin with some instructions for calm abiding practice that I also shared last month. This is a calm abiding practice that I believe comes from the Vietnamese Zen teacher Thich Nhat Hanh, but that I got from the Western Zen teacher Norman Fisher from his Everyday Zen podcast. And I've been enjoying the practice so much that I thought I'd share it again. The practice has 7 steps, and you don't have to remember all the steps. If you can, that's fine. But if you can only remember one, you can certainly practice that one and it'll be fine. Once we walk through all 7 together. And it begins, as we always do, by being aware of your body sitting. Feel any sensations or any strain. Adjust your posture and establish your breathing in your belly. Step 1 goes like this. Breathing in, I am aware I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I am aware I'm breathing out. And if you want, you can say those words silently to yourself, but the important thing is to enact them, to bring your awareness to breathing in and breathing out. Step 2. Breathing in, I bring peace to my breathing. Breathing out, I bring peace to my breathing. And again, you can say those words to yourself, but the important thing is to enact them with every breath. Step 3. Breathing in, I am aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I am aware of my whole body. Norman says you can feel your breath illuminating and infused throughout your whole body. You feel your whole body illuminated by your breath. Step 4. Breathing in, I bring peace to my body. Breathing out, I bring peace to my body. Here, if you feel any tension, breathe into that, and breathing out, feel it dissolve. Step 5, breathing in, I feel joy. Breathing out, I feel joy. Norman says joy is an odd word. He says he doesn't think we really understand what it means. Usually associated with intense pleasure, but he says he thinks real joy is something else. So he suggests, maybe without having any idea what real joy is, just practice like this. Breathing in, I feel joy. Breathing out, I feel joy. And perhaps we'll discover something about joy. Step 6, breathing in, I let go. Breathing out, I let go. So if you were feeling some joy or whatever you're feeling, time to let go. Let everything go as if you're taking your last breath, totally at peace. Step 7. I am breathing in this moment, which is fading. I am breathing out this moment, which is fading. Breathing in and out in the middle of time. So that's the practice, and as I said, you don't need to remember all the steps. But I invite you to practice one or more that seem compelling for you at this time, right now, until Momse rings the bell. If you want to take a moment to stretch or readjust your posture, please do.
Refuge, may I quickly realize Mahamudra and establish all beings without exception in this state.
And so, as always, if you're new, there are things to make tea with in the kitchen, and please feel welcome and help yourself to a cup of tea. There are 3 bathrooms in this house, one at the top of the stairs, upstairs on the right, one straight back in the kitchen, and one in the basement. If you go down the stairs, it's on the right. And I suspect that we have announcements this morning, and also just want to thank Miriam for being the Mongze and Linda for streaming.
I have one announcement. It's a reminder for anybody who's on the KCC list. Lama Sangseng asked us to announce, to give a reminder that on next weekend, on May 28th, in Eugene, there will be teachings on Amitabha practice and also a ceremony for people who passed away. And so this is something that Lama Sangseng actually, it's one of his heart practices. So this is an opportunity to receive teaching from and engage in a practice with somebody who just has really dedicated a lot of time to this particular practice. And it's a time when we can bring names of those who have passed away and ask for prayers on their behalf. And so this is it's kind of a special offering that Lama Sangseng makes every year. I don't think there's I'll put this up here. There's some a few details about it, but you really need to go to the KDC Eugene website to get the address and such. If you have names to add to the list, you can give them to me, or I think that, or what's that? Well, if you can do it right now, that's good. And then I can send them on to Sonam, Tony, and then he can add them to the list. They're requesting the names by the 22nd, which is real soon now. Yeah.
It's customary to make an offering when you submit names for when they're doing practices like this. So that's part of the complication.
Yes.
But I don't. If anyone was going down there, we could also send offerings.
Do they have a place on the site to make offerings? Or?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay.
They're not as sophisticated as we are.
But probably you could
Put it in
email them with the names and put it in the mail, the
Yeah.
offering. It would be probably fine.
Closer in time
Yes.
here, this very Wednesday evening,
Yes.
Lama Drukyu will be here with us from, is it at 7?
It's from 7 to 9.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this is an amazing Lama who was in the very first 3-year retreat offered by Kala Rinpoche to Westerners. And he's been practicing sincerely. I've never met him. I'm really looking forward to it. There's a flyer back there. So please come Wednesday night. We've asked him to focus on the kind of confusion, tension that can arise around keeping the Dharma very authentic, very clear, very not losing a single thing from the lineage, and yet bringing it into this new culture, into the West. And then I'm sure there'll be time for other questions, so please come. And you can register online?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Many people already have.
Yay,
Yeah,
Yay.
and good to register online too, so, because we're gonna be here, so we have, Linda has to set up, enough chairs and whatever, so it's helpful
100
to
seats.
do that.
Something like that.
What?
But
Is
that's,
it gonna be held outside?
It will be very
just
close.
remind us of why we're getting a bigger place.
Yeah.
So, some news about that, do you wanna update?
But we may have more to do. In particular, this week sometime, we will have to figure out how to move these rather large steel channels that weigh a lot from the lawn outside into the basement.
Channels?
Yes, they're steel beams.
Beams.
Steel
Oh.
beams, yeah.
Okay.
What's that?
Yeah, that's,
That'll do
I'll leave a note for you and you can manage that.
Can someone levitate them?
Why, yeah.
But we haven't met them yet. If you can do that, please see me.
And I don't know if everyone's aware that the schedule is changing again for the closing of Monroe. So it's going to be July 7th. I put together a timeline and posted it out in the kitchen, and I made some extra copies if people want to take a sheet. It'll help you decide when you might be able to volunteer to help pack and clean. So, yeah, and we'll be posting it. I'll be putting it on the community list as well, but you guys get a head start.
basically our first sitting at the new place will be the Sunday that's the day before Kempo Rinpoche comes. So whatever that is, the 25th, I think.
25th.
It'll be the first sitting over there, and from then on, that's our headquarters. But we're going to keep this place till right after the visit.
Is that not to practice though? Just
Not to practice, but
to
to
transitional.
facilitate everything.
Got it.
So we didn't have to do everything at once.
Yeah.
That's
Post
nice.
Kempo
That's
Rinpoche,
nice.
move
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything. So the buyers kindly gave us another bit of time. And Kempo Lodrodonyo is coming, and the flyer's there, and most of you know about it. So go look there, look online, and instead of going off on another picnic, your 50th picnic for the 4th of July, come and see Kempo Lodrodonyo.
A lot of people are coming from out of town,
Yeah.
from various states, and